name is Eric Skuman. Welcome to Matters of the Soul. We are busy with a series on conflict management for couples, but it's applicable to business and to your family relationships everywhere. You know, conflict, like we said last time, is something that is best easily dealt with, and the best chance for effective conflict management is when you are settled and secured in yourself, but mostly in your relationship with God, and if you feel loved in your relationship with the Father, and you are secured and grounded in that relationship, and you can receive feedback and inputs from Him, and there's a genuine flow that already sets you up to love rather than to battle and to fight for yourself, because you're trusting the Lord and it involves Him in your life. Today I want to share 6 pointers with you on conflict that can guide your conflict management. Generally, you know, when we are in conflict, we feel upset, and we're in this mode of in a washing machine where we're just tumbling and being thrown to and fro, because we're sitting with so much intense emotion, and we feel stuff, and all the issues seem to just mingle together, and we're just so upset, and we sit with a lot of reasons why we're angry and upset with our husband or wife, and we just want to fight for our rights. What I want to start with here is, usually when we're in that place, we want to speak up and sort this out and describe, fight for it, but that's not the best timing to do it. So you want to start off softly and gently, and how you approach your partner is generally how the conflict will end up. So if you want to end up in Cape Town and you're in Joburg, you don't take the road to Durban, the N3, because you're going to end up in Durban. You're not going to end up in Cape Town, so it's a way off. So what you want to do is you want to start off on the N1, heading down to Cape Town, and stay on the N1. So don't go off and knock on all these dirt roads, unless you really want to go there and it's beautiful and you have the right vehicle. So it's similar with your conflict. You want to start on the right track. Otherwise, you've got to just fix it throughout, and that just takes up extra time and effort, and it delays the conflict process. So how you start off generally not in an attacking manner, in a gentle way, in even your tone of voice and your body language. So you're calm and you start speaking in that way, and then you don't want to complain, you don't want to blame people, you want to rather describe your dilemma. So no matter how at fault you feel your partner is, if you approach them with blaming and accusations and criticism, it will not be productive. It will just elicit similar feelings and similar reactions from them, and you'll get the eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth approach. Because what you want to do is you want to rather approach them with gentleness and kindness. And I know some couples are at a different place of conflict, so it's not so easy. The conflict has escalated so much. But if you can approach them in a civilized manner where it is calm, the chance of them in general responding in a similar way is less. Obviously, if you're at a very heightened place of attacks, you need a facilitator. But instead, if you're just you're going to have a general guideline for how to approach the conflict, blaming doesn't work. So what you want to do is describe the dilemma. When that happened, this is how it affected me, and this is where I was left with it, and why I'm upset about it. This is what I would rather want you to do instead. And so you're describing the situation, describing how their behavior affected you, how it made you feel, where it left you, or what they did not do, how that affected you, and why it's important for you, and how it would actually make you feel, and what difference it would make for you if they can change that, because it'll make a huge difference for you if they can do that. So it's important for you to describe that, and rather describe what is happening than to judge them as well. So instead of just accusing and focusing on your partner, just describe what you see in that situation, and it'll be worth it if you can keep yourself in check and keep yourself calm throughout, because that's the critical part. It's like driving over a very narrow bridge with your car. You want to focus when you're doing that. So when you're going with your relationship into rocky roads, you want to make sure that you navigate very carefully. And your mother taught you manners, they taught us manners, and of being polite, and so this is the place to also use it. When you're at the supermarket, we tend to be very friendly, but we store up resentments against our partners, and then we don't want to go there. But it's best to still remain as polite as possible and use those thank yous and please, and I'll appreciate it if, and this helped me a lot, thank you for that. Point out some areas where you've really seen them change, or whatever they've done that has blessed you. You want to point out that, and that will maintain and create that warmth and that emotional connection, even though it is a difficult conversation. So, and that is exactly when you need that. You need that warmth and that trust during a conflict time. You don't want to go bashing the trust during that conflict. And then another important is try to stick to one conversation or one point at a time, because what we tend to do is we store things up and then suddenly kaboom, we explode and we're so hurt and upset. But we should have actually discussed it more regularly. I know some couples, when they say, but I can't discuss it because my partner's not open to it, or they defend and fight me so vehemently, I can't discuss it. So that's where help is needed. But in general, the principle is to rather discuss things sooner than later, because then it's less to also talk through, and it's not that intense and it's not built up. So just to recap, start softly, start gently, the way you approach your partner, and remain that way. Rather describe than to blame them. Try to talk from your own perspective, the I statements, and rather describe the situation and exactly what has bothered you and what you would like to do for them to do differently, and try to stay away from blaming, shaming and naming, saying things that just make them feel guilty, or labeling them with all kinds of labels. You're just like your mother, or you're stupid, or whatever, or that's a stupid thing to do. Stay away from those things that just causes fights, and try to be polite and appreciative, and try to do one thing at a time, not storing things up until the end. Okay, so see if you can try those things during this week, and we'll check in again next time. God bless. This was Eric Skuman from Matters of the Soul. Go and like our Facebook page and YouTube. Speak again next time. Goodbye.